Okay, this is Merry Christmas Geronimo Part 2. At last I reached my office, the Rodents Gazette. Good morning, everyone, I said as I came through the door. My secretary, Mousela McMouser, rushed up to me. Mr. Stilton, I didn't know you were coming in today, she squeaked. I thought you'd be getting ready for your Christmas Eve party. I smiled. I've just come in to sign a few papers, I said. Marcella straightened her glasses. I noticed she was staring at me strangely. I don't take this the wrong way, she mumbled. But aren't you hot in that outfit? Before I could answer, the door flew open. In raced Benjamin. He was followed by Thea and my cousin Trap. As soon as Thea saw me, she burst out laughing. Jerrykins, she shrieked, pointed to my getup. Who dressed you this morning? You look like a giant puffy cheese ball. Then she collapsed in a fit of giggles. Trap snuck his snout right up to mine. Off to the North Pole, Geronimouse, he smirked. When are you leaving? I rolled my eyes. First of all, I'm not going to the North Pole, I squeaked. And second, my name is Geronimo. That made my cousin roar with laughter. Soon he and Thea were both rolling around on the floor in hysterics. I sighed. Those two are as different as a carton of cottage cheese and a box of caramel Swiss cheesy chews. But they have one thing in common. They love to tease me. Only Benjamin didn't crack up. Instead, he gave me a big hug. My pergo was so puffy, he sunk right in. We just came by to say hi, Uncle Geronimo, he explained. Then he leaned in close and whispered in my ear. Good thing you're dressed warmly, he said. It's colder than a freezer at the Icy Rat. Perfect for building a snow mouse. I turned my back to Thea and Trap. Go ahead, laugh all you want, I thought. At least my tail won't freeze off in the snow. Then I patted Benjamin's paw. I have to do a few things here, I told my nephew. But later we can play and build 10 snow mice if you like. When they had left, I headed down the hall toward my office. I passed through the art department. Tyler True Mouse waved his paw at me. Tyler is my senior designer. Merry Christmas, Mr. Stilton, he squeaked. Then he asked with a chuckle, Aren't you hot? I shook my head no and stumbled right into Tyler's assistant. Merry Christmas, Mr. Stilton, he squeaked. Marin Gilt Ginger Mouse. I could tell she was trying not to laugh. Aren't you hot? She finally managed to gasp. I shook my head no again. Then it was Cheese Della Pampa's turn. Chiesta had a head of dark, shiny curls. She is usually a shy mouse, but not this morning. Mr. Stilton, you must be sweating your fur off in that outfit, she blurted out. Aren't you hot? Then she covered her mouth. I could hear her giggling behind her paw. She raced off before I could answer. Just then, Sweetie Cheese Triangle came barreling up to me. Sweetie is my editor-in-chief. I guess you could say Sweetie is the opposite of Cheesella. Sweetie loves to squeak her mind. Geronimo, why are you dressed like that? She guffawed. Aren't you hot? At least unzip your parka. By now, I was getting annoyed. Why couldn't everybody just mind their own business? I'm fine. I'm absolutely positively fine, I shrieked. I whirled around and slammed right into Rodney. Rodney Ratfinkel. Rodney works on our website. He got at me from behind his glasses. Stilton, you must be hotter than a burrito at the spicy mouth smokehouse. He screeched, laughing. He reached out to pat my parka. I shoved him off. I'm not hot, I squeaked. I was fuming. What was with everyone today? So what if I had a few extra layers on? It was cold outside. I mean, okay. Maybe I'd overdone it with the furry sweaters and the ski pads were a bit much, but it was my choice to wear them. I was still furious when I stumbled into a group of illustrators. Larry Keys, Bosco Tabasco, and Matt Wolf. Give me a once-over, here it comes, I grumbled. Hey there, Geronimo, they all squeaked, in unison. 3 pairs of eyes swept over me in hooted and laughter. Aren't you? No, I answered before they could finish. They looked shocked, but I didn't care. I had it. Why couldn't everyone leave me alone? So I had overdressed. So I looked like a giant puffy cheese ball. So what? I stormed off. He needs a vacation, I heard someone whisper. He looks ready to snap, said another. I marched through the press room. The press was churning out the latest copy of the newspaper. The noise was deafening. At least no one could tease me in here, I thought. It was so noisy I could hardly hear myself think. 2 seconds later, Pinky Pick rushed up to me. Pinky is my assistant editor. There is only one word to describe Pinky: loud. Yes, Pinky is only a tiny mouse, but she is the loudest mouse I know. Hi, boss, she called out. I cut her off before she could continue. I knew what was coming next. No, I shouted. No. I'm not. She stared at me, puzzled. What's the matter, boss? She squeaked. I was just gonna say Merry Christmas. I gulped. I felt awful. I didn't mean to yell at you, Pinky. I was just so tired of everyone teasing me. I was sure Pinky was next. Yes, well, same to you, Pinky, I mumbled. I raced for my office. Maybe I did need a vacation. Now I was picking on poor little Pinky. And on Christmas Eve, too, I felt awful. I felt ashamed. I felt someone was tugging on my paw. I looked down. It was Pinky Pig. She must have been following me. Hey, boss, she smirked. What's with the crazy costume? Aren't you hot under there? I groaned and flung myself into my office. Then I locked the door behind me. Alone at last. I quickly changed into one of the spare suits I kept in my closet. Phew. I must admit, I was hot in my outfit. In fact, I had reached the boiling point. I was sweating like a plus-sized mouse in a ratty trap jungle. I poured myself an ice-cold cheese coffee, and then I sat down at my desk. Think cool thoughts, I told myself. It took 10 minutes for my fur to stop sweating. A few minutes later, I heard tires squeaking outside my window. If you ask me, New Mouse City drivers are the worst. They love to go fast and they love to slam on brakes. It's crazy. Plus, all the stopping and staring can be really tough on a mouse. Whenever I take a taxi, I have to see a chiropractor the next day. I rub my neck just thinking about those taxi rides. Could make my neck hurt. Suddenly, a strange sound interrupted my thoughts. I twirled my whiskers. What was that noise? It sounded like something bouncing. Boing, boing, boing. Yes, it sounded like a lot of bouncing on the road. Curious, I ran outside. I was met with an unbelievable sight. The street was covered in thousands of small gold balls. A huge delivery truck sat in the middle of the road. It was blocking traffic. A crowd of rodents stood by, talking about the accident. They said that the driver had skidded on the ice. It seemed he had swerved, avoiding hitting it. He had swerved to avoid hitting a young mouse who was running across the street. The truck had been carrying 10,000 Ratberry rat balls. I picked up one of the balls. It had the familiar Ratberry logo on it. Each candy was wrapped in glittering gold foil. Have you ever tried Ratberry rat balls? They are a whisker looking good. Right then, I heard someone sobbing. A rat sat on the sidewalk, had his head in his paws. I read the back of his shirt. Ratberry, it said. I guess that was the driver of the truck. I think I'm gonna stop there for this one. Bang.